Hey, everybody, welcome to Review with Me, your review guide of shows, movies, and everything in between. Be sure to click the like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get on with this review. Hello, hello. Welcome back to another review. I am your host, Maxine, and we are reviewing King's Court. King's Court. This is my first time watching this show. I know there is a Queen's Court version of the show, and I've heard of it and I've seen clips of it. I know the women, obviously not personally, but the women who's on the show, I'm familiar with their work. And their like presence or whatever. So I may circle back and just watch those episodes as well, or those two seasons in particular. But I really enjoy King's Court. I think this is a great show. We're only 2 episodes in, and I am thoroughly impressed. I am thoroughly pleased. All of that with everybody on this show. The contestants, the men, the hosts, just the show in it of itself, the way that it's set up, the house that they have to share space in. It's a great show. It's a really great show. So check it out. It's on Bravo TV. And it has a similar vibe to Ready to Love when it comes to the aesthetics, especially the confessionals. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Like it looks very similar to Ready to Love. And because this show is centered on Black relationships, seemingly, because a lot of the most of the contestants are Black, and the bachelors or even the bachelorettes from the Queen's Court, they're Black women as well, or Black adjacent. Shout out to Evelyn Lozada. But anyway, this show is really cool. So we're gonna kind of jam pack this review to both episodes 1 and 2 and jump right into it. So these are our three kings, our three Black kings. First of all, Tyson Beckford. He is 54 years old and he still looks good. He's aged well. I don't think he's gotten any work done on his face, which is very it's very satisfying to know. Or at least we could tell. I don't know. But he's aged well, and you could see throughout this season so far that he's expressed how self-care is important to him. So he wakes up early, he works out, he starts his day early, and I've been doing that honestly since for the past few weeks, actually, really starting my day off early and like commanding your day. And we could see that instantly with Tyson Beckford. So we all know him, the first Black male supermodel who has made this amazing name for himself. He has left a legacy and continues to leave a legacy. But all in all, to say, Tyson Beckford is one of the kings. And he's great to look at. He's great to watch. It's great. Carlos Boozer. Carlos Boozer. I actually am not too familiar with him, but now that I am aware of his name and his background, he's an NBA player, or he was. He's retired. He used to play for the Bulls, Chicago Bulls, for a few years, and other teams as well, I'm sure. But he's a professional NBA player, now retired, and he's very handsome as well. He's very handsome as well. I like the way he carries himself. I like his smile. Yeah, he's great. Another great choice. And then we have Thaddeus. That, I love a strong name. I love like a Richmond, Thaddeus, Cornelius. It's just like, dang, where your family from? Where is your family from, Thaddeus? But I think he said he's from the South, or maybe Memphis. Is that still considered South? I don't know. But this is Thaddeus. He actually is a former pro wrestler. And I used to be a wrestler fan when I was younger, but I'm not familiar with Thaddeus in particular. I'm familiar with the obvious, right? The Rock, Steve Cold, Austin. Oh my gosh, I just messed that up. But y'all know what I'm talking about. And rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. But yes, Thaddeus is a former pro wrestler, and he still looks good. They all look great. they have aged well. And it's great to see Black men look like this and just in good spirits. It's just a beautiful thing. So these are our kings. Let's get to the contestants here. So these are our initial contestants. Because if you've been following the show, you know that in episode 2, we're introduced to a whole new group of women. But let's focus on these women in particular. Yes, there is one white woman here. You know, you got to sprinkle in one, and then you got to sprinkle in a Latino, and then you got to sprinkle in an ambiguous woman here. So this woman right here, Janae, I think you guys can't really see my pointer, so I'm just like, just follow along. Janae, she's Black. Like she has to have some Black in her because she has knotless braids. Okay, and I know there are some white women who go to Jamaica and they leave with some cornrows. I get that. But Janae is still giving me she has Black in her family. So she's a Black woman, but I think she definitely does have a mixture of Black and white. But I think all these women are beautiful. I think they're all great contestants to have on the show. I think they're entertaining and just easy to look at and watch. So we're going to get into a little bit of the connection so far. So again, this is Thaddeus. Thaddeus is vibing with Jasmine and Dr. Shawana. Dr. Shawana is a doctor of education, just as me. Well, I am on the road of becoming one. I am wrapping up with my studies. And I should be one by next year, God willing. But anyway, the point is, this is Dr. Shawana, and when she talks about her doctoral studies, she is actually in the same field as me, like doctoral of professional leadership or educational leadership for her, I think in particular. And her background is in education, so it's all within that sector. Jasmine here, I think it says marketing. Okay, so marketing. And these are just beautiful, cute women. They go on a date and they're kind of vibing throughout. I'm going to walk you through a few parts from this episode by sharing my screen. And we're going to look at just slideshows, okay? So I'm not going to necessarily play a clip. I'm just going to show y'all different parts and kind of break them down for you, okay? So again, we're introduced to the men. This is a clip of Tyson Beckford. We're going to get into that a little bit later. And the host of the show, we have, what's her name? Holly Robinson Peete, and her husband, I forget his name, but he's a former football player. And then we get into, so they're based in Atlanta, Georgia. We get into the women being introduced to the host, and they bring in the kings, okay? Instantly, once Carlos comes in, he notices Janae. Janae is the one here in the pink dress. Beautiful woman. And he instantly locks eyes with her and he just sees her immediately. So there's a strong connection on sight. These women are introduced to the whole to all the men. They're in this like mixer in the beginning. We learn, commercial. Let me move it forward. So we learned that Brookel is one of Tyson Beckford's connections. And we learned that she actually was in communicate. And I don't even want to say communication because we learned that it wasn't even nothing big of a deal. Tyson just simply saw her on Instagram, gave her a DM of compliment saying, "You look beautiful." I think he just showed a fire emoji. It wasn't even that deep. So it's not like they dated. It's not like they actually had anything previous. But Brookel, as soon as she met him, as soon as she met him in this context, she says, "Oh, it was nice to meet you again." And she wanted to point that out. She wanted to let you know, yeah, I've been here before. So my impression was, oh, did y'all have something going on? But then Tyson clarifies it and lets us know that it's just a matter of him sliding into her demons, him sliding into her DMs and letting her know that she's attractive. Okay. So Carlos and Janae, they're vibing here. And I'm sold on them. Honestly, I'm sold on them. But that's the problem with me, I guess. Maybe it's, I don't know if it's a problem or not, but like, as soon as I'm sold on somebody, I don't who is there someone else? Like, I don't see anybody else. I'm already 10 toes. It's me and you, boo. So that's just how I am in my real life too. And I definitely I'm looking at this context. I would be the same way if I was either one of them. If I met my match, or I feel like I did at least, um, I'm all on. I'm 10 toes down. I don't care if it's a dating show. I don't care. I have to compete. This is me and you. You're the one I want to see. Okay. And it feels like that's the vibe. But I feel like maybe producers is of course encouraging him and her to play the game. Even though Janae, her game is not to necessarily date the other kings. It's really more so about Carlos. But let's move on. So we learned that Janae, she has a background in, like, she's familiar with Hollywood and celebrity life and people with big names because her father used to play for Earth, Wind, and Fire. So she talks about it so casually, and it's like it's nothing to her. Carlos is really happy about this because he's happy to finally meet a woman who's not so starstruck, if at all, by him. And he says himself in the confessional, I don't think she knows who I am. Nigga, I don't know who you are either. Like, what? Not every woman knows, I don't know, these like players or these kings. Like, I just know that you're fine and you're 6 foot or whatnot. So he's really happy that she doesn't know who he is. So we get to Tyson here. Tyson is talking about this. Oh, he says here that he has trust issues. And he's talking to Dr. Shawana. Dr. Shawana's like, oh, I don't. I'm good. And I actually appreciated a woman saying that because I think it's so easy for us to be seen as women who have trust issues, who's jealous, and it's just so easy because that's what either we portray that or that's just what we're conditioned to be. But Dr. Shawana talked about how no, she worked all of that out through therapy and she's good. She doesn't have any trust issues. So I am really impressed with Dr. Shawana already. I do want to see that come into fold even more. I wonder in future episodes, will any level of distrust come about? Like, because I think it's human nature to feel a little bit insecure if you see someone you love, or not even love in this context, but like you're feeling and then you're wondering, are they still feeling me? I don't know. But she said she worked it out in therapy. She's good. So I think she'll be fine. But Tyson Beckford gets into this whole background story of his ex-girlfriend, someone he dated for just a year, if not a little over a year. And when he was, and they shared a dog together. They shared a dog. And when he was out of town, he wasn't aware of some of the things that she was doing behind his back. So he was supposed to still be out of town, but he ended up coming back home earlier. And as he came back home, he noticed another man walking his dog, or the shared dog that he had with his ex-girl. So he was really upset about that. And then we even see a little breakdown from Tyson in his confessional. And it was a sweet moment. I think Tyson Beckford is so cool. I didn't realize how down to earth and real he is. I watched his Breakfast Club interview that came out recently. Go check that out. It's so entertaining. He gets it to you straight. He talks about his beef with Wendy Williams. He talks about him growing up in New York and being a part of particular GANGS gangs, and just being honest about it, how he carries, he's legal to carry, and he's not afraid to use it, and he's an alpha man, and he's not intimidated by the rumors that Wendy Williams put out about him being gay. Because, a lot of women, Tasha K included, though it may be entertaining for the masses to participate in gossip, it is hurtful for the recipient, of course, right? And Wendy Williams was the driving force to perpetuate this rumor of Tyson Beckford being gay. And it's just such a low blow for men, especially Black men, because we know how their sexuality and their manhood is tested when they're accused of being homosexuals. And it's not cool when that's not the case. So Thaddeus here is trying to talk to some of the other ladies. Dr. Shawana sees him immediately and was like, I want to talk to him. And he starts using the word aggressive. And we're going to circle back to that because he gets called out on that in a moment. But Janae immediately, and this is what I like about this show so far. These women know, okay, I got it. Like, I'm going to get up, at least some of them. Janae's like, oh, do you want me to leave? Dr. Shawana said, well, if you feel moved to go, like I may not tell you exactly, but yes, bitch, go. So Janae leaves, and it's a respectful exit. It's no tension. Janae is already sensing that there's a vibe between Thaddeus and Dr. Shawana. So it's pretty cool to see how they're respectful of that. So we get to learn a little bit about Dr. Shawana. She works in education, and Thaddeus, he works in the nonprofit sector as well. He really cares about philanthropy work, and he also has a school named after him. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. We meet this woman, I think Lillian or Lilith, and their vibe. Ain't nothing really too much about this part. I don't really care. Okay, let's get to this part. Okay. So we get to Thaddeus looking at this broke down Nicole Kidman. No offense to her. I just, it's all jokes. It's all jokes. But anyway, she's talking about, what's her name? I forget. I think I put it on the screen. Let me put this back to stage. So Thaddeus, okay, this is Jenny. Okay, this is Jenny. Jenny is telling Thaddeus about how her parents have a 54-year-long marriage, and she grew up with a great example of what a healthy marriage looks like. So she has all the knowledge, she has all the resources in doing so. So basically she's trying to say she comes from good stock. Okay. And if you marry me, you're marrying into somebody who's going to provide you with longevity, because I've seen that in my real life and I could produce that. It seems like she was definitely pitching herself, and maybe that's just her way of communicating. But Lexi, is that her name? I forget her name. Is it Lexi? Yeah, Lexi, this woman right here, she's actually the connection for Carlos, but this is still the beginning. So she's seated next to Thaddeus, and it seems like they're just disinterested. Let me circle back to this part. It seems like they're disinterested in what she has to say. Like, girl, what? And so we get to how her parents are from Tennessee. And Thaddeus is saying, have you ever dated a Black man? Like, would your parents be okay with you bringing home a Black man? And instantly, Jenny is trying to convince him otherwise. Like, yeah, my parents are happy with whoever makes me happy. No, it doesn't matter. And she said, yes, she's dated a Black man and her parents will be happy with whomever she's happy with. Okay, we'll circle back. So we get to Thaddeus telling us in the confessional how he knows the reality of being a Black man, especially of his size, of his stature, of his skin. Like his big lips, his big old nose. Like, we get it. And I love a self-aware Black man, especially someone with this size. Okay. So it totally makes sense how he is trepidatious about anything moving forward with Jenny. We get to Carlos. Carlos is learning a little bit about Lexi and how what do we learn? Okay. Oh no. Okay. So here Thaddeus is speaking to Jasmine. Jasmine comes from a background of dating men who would wine and dine her. So she's very kind of high class, high brow, but she seems cool. We get to a scene of the first dates. Okay. This is the part when the contestants or the kings, they ask out the ladies on a date. They ask for 2 dates. And for our first date, Tyson asked out Brookel and oh, we'll get to that later. But Tyson asked out Brookel and Lillian. But for this scene here, let's get into these dates. So Carlos, Carlos, he asked out Janae and Lexi. They go to this yoga date, this yoga room, this yoga session. And Janae's super into it. Carlos is really into it. He loves the yoga, but the added mix in this session is goats, our goats, little baby mini goats. And Lexi is totally not for it. Totally not for it. Get this goat off me. So it's goat yoga. And I actually want to do it, but I know goats, they kind of poo everywhere. But who knows? But it seems like a fun experience. Janae's really into it. Carlos is really into it. Lexi is not. And that is not helping her at all in the likes of Carlos. We get to Thaddeus's date. He asks out Dr. Shawana and Jasmine. They go painting. I don't know why they wore white. Well, I guess I was asked because they have to paint each other as if they're canvases. They're vibing really well. Dr. Shawana writes her name or her initials on Thaddeus. And I could see Thaddeus being a good time. To say the least. If you know, you know. If you pick up what I'm putting down. So we jump back into this date that Carlos has with Janae. And see what I'm saying with Janae? I mean, she's definitely biracial, beautiful woman. I just want to understand. I like to know the history of people. I'm so into that. Like, oh, I wonder what part of Austria is her dad from. Like, I'm really big on like stuff like that. So this is no shot to anyone listening who's biracial, multiracial, whatever. So please don't eat me up. Carlos is really feeling Janae here, and he asks her for a separate date, and Lexi has to stay behind. This is an awkward moment. This is an awkward moment because Lexi just has to stand there and be like, okay, I'll just stay here with the goats. Okay, let's get to this scene because here's what I don't like. So Tyson asks Brookel and Lilith. I'm make sure I can say her name right because I don't know if it's Lilith. Liliana, my bad. Liliana, okay? He asked them out for a date. And it's not a regular day. It's not dinner, movie, paint night. It's let's go skydiving. Let's go skydiving. And his perspective is, well, we get to say we did this, right? We get to say that this is our bonding experience. It ties us together even more. And I just feel like, sir, please. I would be pissed. I don't know if I ever want to do if I will ever do it. That's terrifying. I'm just thinking about it. I can't. But they did it. They did it. I guess I don't know. I don't know what I guess their feel is. But anyway, they did it. They fell off the plane. Fell off. They got pushed off. And they could always say, "Hey, we had this experience together." So we get to Janae and Carlos. Carlos lets her know that he's open. So Carlos lets her know that he's been married twice. He has kids. I can't remember the youngest, but I mean the youngest isn't really it's still young. So the point is, Janae isn't a mother. She doesn't have any kids. She asked him, "Are you interested in getting married again?" And he said, "Yeah, I hear third time's a charm." I think with Carlos, I think he's a lover boy. I think he's a lover boy, and that's totally fine. I think he's someone who needs to be in relationships, it seems like. And he says, look, though it didn't work out in previous relationships, previous marriages, doesn't mean that I'm gonna close my heart chakra. And I think that's very admirable. I think sometimes we get so caught up in what didn't work out that I don't even want to try again. And I think it's admirable to see him say, no, I still want to give it a shot. So it's evident. I could feel the tension, not tension. I could feel the chemistry between them, and I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for them. It's Janae and Carlos. I want them to make it far and make it last. She's saying how she feels such golden retriever energy from him, and I never understood that term. She broke it down a little bit so I could get the context, but I just don't understand where that term came from. But she says here that a golden retriever, he's just so nice, so lovable. And I guess it makes sense because with golden retrievers, they are naturally that. But why are we applying that to like the personality of a man? It's just so weird to me. He's a golden retriever. Okay. So who's a bulldog? who's a Rottweiler here? And then even that, there's gonna be people saying, "Oh, they're really nice dogs." It's a stereotype. Like, okay. Okay, so we get to the end, and this part is like the mixer. The way that this show is set up, they eliminate at the end of every episode, it seems like, so far at least, and they invite the potential eliminated women to dinner. First, they have a mixer, and then they let them know they've been eliminated by dinner time. So imagine having to wait until dinner to be told, yeah, you're gonna stay, or yeah, you're gonna go. Like this. My anxiety would be through the roof. It will be through the roof. Okay. So anyway, these are the three women who are on the chopping block. We have Jenny, we have Lexi, and we have Jasmine. So we get to this scene here between Jenny and Thaddeus. Jenny reveals to Thaddeus, hey, look, you know, when I told you I've dated a black man, I lied. I never dated a nigga. Never will, never don't, never want to, I never won't. I lied to your ass. Thaddeus is saying, why? Why did you have to lie? She explains that she felt she needed to lie because the conversation was getting aggressive. I didn't like this word aggressive. And I'm not even big on being annoyed about the word aggressive. You know, as a black woman, I get the connotation, but I think there are applicable times to say aggressive. Like words do mean things, and let's not always allow our connotative emotion to take away the reality of the definition of the word. But in this case, I do feel like she used that word in a way that appears as a microaggression. Nothing about the conversation or him asking her to know, hey, have you dated a black man? Nothing about that moment, that exchange was aggressive. Just because you probably felt targeted because you're the only white woman on the show, hey, get a load of how black women feel all the time being one of two or one of one black women in the sea of white women. Okay, hold your ground, so she admitted that she lied and she apologized for it. She felt that he was being aggressive when he asked her about it, and she doesn't want the conversation to be over. She just wanted to dead it. He says to her, if you lied about that, something like that, then make me feel confident that you gonna lie about something much bigger. I don't know if y'all could hear that. It is thundering outside here in Houston, Texas, but bear with me. I'm trying to distract myself. So we get to this part here. Thaddeus is talking to Jasmine. Thaddeus is saying how he felt like Jasmine wasn't as confident, as assertive, and I think he also said aggressive too. But he just felt like she wasn't as confident as Dr. Shawana, and that made her appear as if she just can't hold her own. Jasmine's trying to clarify, like, look, the way I go about things or interacting with men is different, and it doesn't mean that I'm any less confident. And I really want us to normalize that just because you're not dominating the room or being the loudest in the room doesn't mean that you lack confidence. Like, what are we talking about? Like, what is that small-minded thinking about? We get to Carlos. Carlos talking to Lexi. I don't know. I forgot what he told her because she actually, spoiler alert, she actually does not get eliminated. But we learn in confessionals that he feels worrisome about her intention because there's a moment, I think it was a previous scene actually. Lexi reveals that she has a singing career and she had a singing contract, a record contract, when she was young, and her daughter is now breaking into the field, and she's just telling a lot of things that may appear as if she's using this as an opportunity, as if she's trying to just get her foot in. And she says she's very focused and goal oriented and tunnel vision, and she's just trying. It's like, okay, but what are you tunnel vision about? Are you tunnel vision about breaking into Hollywood, or are you tunnel vision about something else that's more meaningful or more impactful for the community type of thing? You know what I mean? And I think because she talked about being tunnel vision and right before that she talked about her singing career, it just appears as if she's not really genuine in this whole experiment. So we get to the dinner. The guys let them know their thoughts. Thaddeus actually thanks Jenny for being honest with him or admitting, because she did lie, but she admitted that she lied because she could have left the show and held on to that lie. She could have, because what's gonna happen? Who gonna check me, boo? But she admitted it. So he thanks her for her admission, and they wrapped it up pretty respectfully. Jasmine and Jenny are eliminated. Lexi stays, and that's pretty much it. It was pretty respectful. We learned at the end of this episode that the women will be all grouped up in the house, and I believe the men will be living there as well, because we see scenes of the men walking down the stairs. We see them making breakfast together. So I think it's one big house for all of them. All of them. Initially, I thought it was one house for the men, for the kings, and then one house for the women. But it seems like they're all in one home. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that is my wrap up for episode 1, season 1 of King's Court on Bravo. This show is really fun, you guys. I hope you are watching it along with me. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video where I will break down episode 2. That was another good one. I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a review, and I'll check in with you all next time. Bye.